It didn't start, did it?
Yes, it did.
Said it did.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
That's a great start.
We didn't start the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Talk CFL podcast, episode number 620. I'm your host, Christopher Jones. It just says it's going to recording and do a transcript, but it didn't anyhow. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm an idiot, and I accept that. Welcome to the show. Like I said, episode 620. I'm your host, Christopher Jones, coming to you from Merritt, British Columbia, and we are in a heat wave. No more than normal. This is not anything to do with global warming. It's just fucking September, and it's dry, and we got some good fires happening. In fact, the Coquihalla is closed right now, both directions, because the fire jumped it. And it literally is the same fire, the same place the fire started in 2021. And it's just, it's burning all the timber on the other side of our fire breaks. So what can you say? It's having fun out there. So anyhow, we're going to talk some football tonight. And that's Canadian football, CFL. We are just past the Labor Day games. This is the beginning of the season. And as Mike's new to the CFL community, why do we say that it's the beginning of the CFL season? Well, one is the kids are back in school, so that means that most people are back from the lake, from their cabins, cottages, vacation, whatever else. So now attendance will become real. And the other thing that is going to happen is the NFL cuts are happening right now. And this is where the teams will pick up their little pieces that they were missing. And it will make a mediocre team strong or not. So it just depends on who becomes really active right now with their negotiations list and or free agency with the NFL cuts and or their previous players. Like there could be a lot of players that went down south to try out for the NFL. They've now been cut. So now they want to come back to their home team. And so that's why the season doesn't really start until Labor Day, or at least that is a saying that CFLers have. So I'm not saying that the season doesn't count because every game is worth 2 points and week 1 is as important as week 21, probably more so because by week 21, the games mean fuck all, or a lot of them. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the games now moving forward after Labor Day. And we're going to introduce the panel. And the first one up is Mike Dennis from, I'm going to call you from Portland, Oregon, okay? Because I really don't know what the hell your name of your town is. And you keep telling me and I never remember. So we're just saying you're from Portland, Oregon. And he's an Edmonton Elks fan. Why the fuck he's picking on the Elks? I don't know. But I think it has something to do with the Portland Ducks or something. And they're the same color. And I said this last time and he agreed with me. So we're going to let it go. Mike, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. This was a great Labor Day weekend. The games this week were just incredible, and I thoroughly enjoyed them.
They were good football games, but there was only 3 of them, and there's why we have 3 teams sitting on Labor Day. I have absolutely no idea. We used to have a rivalry on Labor Day between the BC Lions and the Montreal Alouettes, and that's gone out the window. So I don't understand why they sat 3 teams. Why couldn't Montreal and Ottawa have played each other? They're both Francophone cities. It would have made sense to have a rivalry there. BC's always the red-headed stepsister that sits in the closet because they're out in the West Coast with no team. But Mike and Christopher are going to work together, and we're going to get a team in Portland, Oregon, and they are going to be the Vancouver or BC Lions rival. Is that right, Mike?
Oh, I'd love that to happen.
Okay, so we're going to work on that. In the meantime, I'm getting old and probably will die. But Will McDonald, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
I am good. You know, I was just thinking about what you were saying about why there was only 3 games this weekend. And that might be a problem for the CFL commissioner to address. But my question is, Where is Waldo? We don't hear from him. We don't see him. Where
It's
is
one
he?
of life's mysteries. Should he not have been at one of the Labor Day games?
It was the weekend in the CFL this weekend, Labor Day weekend. Where's Waldo? He's not there. What the heck is up with that? That's my
They made a mistake.
It's actually a very fair question.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
100% accurate, too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it, but oh well.
If we're being honest, we've barely seen that guy since he became commissioner.
Well, and you would think that he's the new commissioner and he would be out there, right?
Even our idiot Randy Ambrosi made a point of going on Randy's road trips.
Yeah, because
and went to every stadium before June was finished.
That's correct. So I don't know. Just my thoughts. Anyways, the football games this weekend were excellent. I enjoyed all three of them. And yeah, especially the Edmonton-Calgary game. I always enjoy that one.
And we actually had three separate issues in games. We had Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, who are in the higher echelons of the CFL.
Yep.
We have Toronto and Hamilton, who, in my opinion, are in the lower echelons of the CFL. And then we had Calgary and Edmonton, who are, one's in the upper echelon, one's in the lower echelon. So it was a variety of all the games. And we got to see a little bit of everything happen here.
Yep.
So Toronto and Hamilton were very well matched, and I cannot come out and say that those are two good football teams. They are football teams, and they are playing decent ball right now, at least against each other and other substandard teams like the BC Lions. So we'll just carry on with that. Okay. Charles Cliff, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm
BC
doing
Lion
good.
fan from Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Yeah, and I kind of want to echo why there was not 4 games this week. Because the thing is, if you only do 3 games last week like they did, it prevents you from having three rematches this week from the Labor Day games, because then you got to give one team 2 weeks in a row of a bye, which you obviously can't do. It'd be stupid. So I don't know. And I was going to mention, because I know you're talking about Mike, about a team in Portland. Are you aware, Mike, that the CFL once played a preseason game in Portland?
I think you sent me a link, and I saw that game.
Yeah, Edmonton Eskimos. No, excuse me, Toronto Argonauts and the Calgary Stampeders.
Yep. And I remember that, and the idea was to have Paul Allen, the owner of the Trailblazers, actually went to the game, and they were trying to convince him to buy a CFL team. And he decided at the conclusion of it that that he wasn't going to do it.
Yep.
Well, we need to give him a second opportunity.
It would have to be somebody else.
Is he alive?
Paul Allen is dead. So that second opportunity is not going to come.
No. Okay. My bad. Okay. And lastly on our board here is Will's brother, Rick. How you doing, Mr. McDonald?
I am doing great. Up to my eyeballs in football. Between Thursday and Labor Day, I went to 2 high school games, a BC junior football game, and watched 3 CFL games. A lot of football.
You didn't watch all the CFL games.
Your wife's still out of town, isn't she?
No, she is home. I didn't watch every game in its entirety, Little Willie, but I did watch some of all of them.
Hey, good for you. That's more CFL football than you've watched in the last 30 years.
Admit
it, I'm right.
So we're going to review these 3 Labor Day games and rock on and see what we can do with it. The first game up was Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. And it was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers went into Saskatchewan at Mosaic Stadium to play the Rough Riders. This was a very even battle team, considering the Rough Riders consider themselves the best in the league. They obviously did not show that, in my opinion, but they are a good team. So what happened? Winnipeg and Saskatchewan battled it out, and they went back and forth, and it came down to a 2-point conversion play at the end of the game that failed. It was intercepted and ran back for 2 points for the defending team for a 4-point spread between, and that was the end. Otherwise, it was going to go to overtime, and it would have been a very exciting game. And who knows, Winnipeg might actually have beat the Rough Riders, but it didn't happen. And Zach Claros threw a lame duck into the end zone for his 2-point conversion and just absolutely did not read the defense well. Not at all. And that's the way that went. Charles, what did you think of this game?
Well, it was back and forth. It was very close. I think each team had good parts of the game. Each team had bad parts of the game. This kind of reinforced, though, my view that Zach Claros is really at the end of the line. The Zach Claros of 2 or 3 years ago doesn't throw that horrible pass on the 2-point. That was absolutely terrible pass. Terrible pass. As soon as he threw that, I'm like, that's going to be intercepted. It was a lame duck floater. And it held up there forever. And it was easy pickings for the defensive back. That ball didn't have much on it. It was a terrible throw. It was a terrible read. And the Bombers probably deserved better than that. But you know what? They fell behind a little bit too much. And they tried to come back, but that was just a terrible pass by Zach Claros. It got returned back, and that was pretty much the ball game. So it was a good attempted comeback to the Bombers till they got them. But Saskatchewan, for all they say they're the best in the league, well, they've got a much better record than the Bombers do, but they really struggled in this game. Now, I know we talked last week. The Labor Day games are always seem to be close for the most part. Very rarely are they blowouts. Spoiler alert for the last game of the weekend. But, the Saskatchewan, a better team. If they're playing Calgary in that game, they're losing that game. I'm sorry. But they had enough to beat the Bombers. Good on them. They got the win. But they kind of got a little fortunate, I thought, coming out of that one.
Okay.
So that's one of the things you pass that he throws.
One of the things you said was 2 or 3 years ago, Zach Claros wouldn't have thrown that ball. I would say that 2 or 3 years ago, Zach Claros would not have had to throw that ball.
That's also true.
Because the Bombers would have had destroyed that team earlier on in the game.
Yes.
So Zach took a beating in there. That O-line is not the gauntlet that they once were. And Zach is not a quarterback that can take punishment. I hope for his best being that this is his last season. I don't know if it will be. He did sign on for another one. But Winnipeg does not have anything in the stable.
There's where the problem comes in, because they got nothing at the backup position.
Most teams don't, Charles.
Okay. So
comment.
Ricky's kept quiet.
Ricky's turn. Let Ricky go.
I'm
He's
his
shaking
team.
his head, so let's see what he has to
I'm
say.
a homer, of course. Zach had 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he threw 1 interception for 2 points. Get the hell off Zach's back, Chuck.
At the most important time of the game. The most important play of the game, and he throws up a lame duck.
Not really.
Could have caught with his eyes closed.
It would have got him a tie, and then they went into the overtime, and I would put money on the Riders winning the overtime. So
maybe.
Sorry, 326, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
And I don't think
back off, Chuck.
I don't think it was that bad of a. I don't think it was that much of a lame duck pass.
I agree, Willie.
It definitely was,
I
Willie.
think-
It
I
was.
think the receiver didn't do to us any good when he let the guy pick that ball like that.
Right,
And
but
on
if he
top
came
of
out
that-
of the end zone, he wouldn't to catch the ball, which he should have ran to the quarterback to catch the ball. He'd have been out of the end zone and they wouldn't have got the 2 points.
Right. And on top of that, the other thing I'd like to know is how come you only hand the ball off to Brady Oliveira 5 times in a game?
That's
Exactly,
fucking
Willie.
idea.
very, very good that question.
That's how they're going to win the game this week, in my mind.
Here I thought getting rid of Buck Pierce would fix that, but it hasn't fixed that. Somebody's
Well,
still
it
being a
seems-
moron.
It seems all offensive coordinators are like that for some reason.
I think if you take a look at this game, Zach Collaros played a hell of a game. He brought the team back. His receiving core was incredible. I mean, the guy I really am falling in love with on that team is Nick Dempsey. Dembski. He seems to be hitting he seems to catch every key ball. But if you take a, they had 3 players. Dembski had 89 yards, Collaros had 85, and then Dalton Shun came back from being off for 6 weeks, contributed, got 58 receiving yards. The reason that they lost the game was Brady Oliveira only getting 24 yards. That's not a Brady Oliveira game.
Well, that's 5 carries.
Here's the big mystery of the CFL. Everybody in the CFL knows Nick Dembski is an amazing receiver and has been for a decade. Why is he always so wide open?
He's the most open receiver in the history of that.
I've never seen
bizarre.
anybody that
And I
can
mean,
be in the open
we're not
more
talking-
than Nick Dembski.
We're not
Just
talking
wide open.
close.
Just
We're not
standing
talking
there.
close. He's 30 yards wide open every fucking play.
Like, you would think that defensive coordinators would pay attention to this. He's wide open.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
he doesn't
true.
get the respect. But hey, Mike, when you're talking Brady, 5 carries, 24 yards is almost 5 yards a carry. Give the boy the ball more often.
You think?
I'm gonna be the first one to admit that you're not going to win football games in any league unless you've got a good running game. And
We
the
all know
running
that.
game,
You're preaching to the choir.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
you don't get it.
it's-
You don't get a good running game with 5 attempts.
Nope.
No, 25 attempts.
You got to wear these guys out. That's what you got to do.
well, don't
You gotta-
You show me an O-lineman that wants to pass protect.
There you go.
This
Or does he
O-lineman
want to
agrees.
run block?
This
Yeah.
O-lineman agrees.
He wants to run block because he gets to smash somebody in the mouth. Okay? Pass protection, going backwards with your hands in the air is stupid. Going forward with your fist in somebody's mouth is brilliant. That's what an O-lineman wants to do.
So you take a look at AJ Ouellette of Saskatchewan. He was consistently getting the ball, and he would give you six, 7 runs, and every time he got the ball. So
Mhm.
So my question is, why doesn't Winnipeg do that with Oliveira? He's the MOP from last year, correct?
Well, it's just AJ's got nicer hair than Brady does, Mike. Sorry.
Okay.
That guy needs a haircut.
Mike, he was awarded the MOP. He certainly wasn't.
Last year.
Okay. But that's beside the point. Okay. So one other thing that I'd like to touch base on this game is there was a play in which the ball bounced towards the end zone after, I believe it was a punt, and the ball carrier picked it up. His momentum took him into the end zone, of which he came back out and he was tightrope walking the end zone. And then he was tackled and drilled back into the end zone. And they didn't call it a safety. They originally did they call it a safety?
They called it a safety.
They called it a safety. The command center came back and said no, that his momentum took him into the end zone and he was tackled. And it was a single rouge. And they got the ball out on the 40-yard line or something stupid like that. In my opinion, he was out of the end zone. He was tackled into the end zone. It should not have been a single point. It should have been bomber ball on the 1 yard line.
I agree.
Because his forward progress had been stopped at the 1 or out of the end zone. So he's automatically given to the 1. Shouldn't have been a single point. Should have been bomber ball on the 1. Charles?
No, I agree with that. I mean, he was on the he got out, got pushed back in. The Bombers actually benefited from that because they were able to take the ball out to the 40-yard line or whatever. So
yeah. But they
that was a
had to
huge
give up a
benefit to
point.
them. They did give up a point, but hey, they didn't start at the 1 yard line, but they should have been starting at the 1 yard line because he was out and pushed back in. That should not have been. That shouldn't have been a single point, and that shouldn't have been. That wasn't a safety. He is clearly pushed back in. But you're right. They should have started at the 1 yard line there.
How could that be a 1-point play if the guy came out of the end zone and they said that forward progress took him out of the end zone? How could that be a 1-point play?
Good question. That's what we're saying.
Oh, crystal clear to me.
Yep.
So here it is. If he caught the ball on the 1 yard line and his personal momentum took him into the end zone, not him running into the end zone, that's a difference, okay? The momentum catching the ball took him into the end zone, and he's tackled there. That would have been the same as if the ball had bounced in the end zone and he had caught it, and that would be a rouge.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? If he caught it on the 5 yard line, ran into the end zone, was tackled, that's a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, if you're going to award 1 point, saying, to me, that would be a safety. It should have been called a safety if that was what the replay center said, that he was in the end zone. They gave him the 1 point. To me, it should have been a safety.
No, because the ball didn't go into the end zone. If the ball went into the end zone, it would have been a rouge. If he took it into the end zone, it would have been a safety. But because they deemed it to be his momentum of catching the ball took him into the end zone, it was only a rouge.
Right.
It was the same as if the ball had bounced into the end zone and him caught it in the end zone.
I wouldn't have given him a rouge, but
well,
what do you think?
I understand the play. Do you want to speak, Will? You got your hand up. You want to go potty? Go pee-pee.
I know how to eliminate this problem completely.
Get rid of kickers.
There you go. Easy.
Take your hand down.
You know,
I knew he was going there.
In all my years of coaching, I used to always tell the boys that every game you play, you have to overcome your opponent, the weather, and sometimes the officials.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that they need to figure out in this league, has there ever been a situation where you're in a playoff game and the opposing team wins on a punt?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
A Grey Cup game.
Yes.
That's not good.
CFL football, baby.
It's the rules the same for everybody, Mike. Nobody complains except the fans.
Okay.
Okay, it's the way it's been for 123 years or something. I don't know. The rouge has been around forever.
I don't want to argue the rouge. I'll get mad.
Well, get mad. You're welcome to your opinion, Charles. It's just not the majority.
I know. No, I know that.
I once won a
it.
Bantam championship in Manitoba with a rouge.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Field goal kickers are so shitty they should be awarded for at least 1 point for trying. Come on.
Hey, my question to you, Michael, you're an NFL fan, or at least American gridiron football, regardless of where it's played. So if a ball is kicked into the end zone, what happens in the NFL?
They usually kneel down and get the ball at the 35.
Touchback.
Why?
End of the play.
Okay, so my question is, why are they just granted, free of charge, 35 yards?
Because that's the rules.
No,
Yeah.
they're doing
makes
it
no
to protect,
sense.
they're doing it to
If
protect
you've
the
got the
players
ball in
from
the end zone,
concussion. They're
you
doing
get the
it for
ball in the end zone.
concussion.
You want to take the knee, you get the ball at the 1.
Have you seen what they've done to the American game in terms of the kickoffs? They're
I'm
doing
saying the
it.
American game is stupid because they give away free yards.
They've ruined
At
it.
least in Canada, it costs you a point.
I
There's
just
got to
think
be a reason for you to give them 35 yards.
yeah, but should you on a missed field goal, should you give a field goal kicker and misses a play
The
1
difference
point?
if he misses the field goal, you punt it in. What's the difference?
Well, there is no difference.
Okay, so you punt it in the end zone, it's a point. But if you punt it and miss the field goal, it's no point? That doesn't make sense. You kick the ball in the end zone, it's called football. We're supposed to kick the ball, goes in the end zone, it's worth a point. If it goes between the uprights, it's worth 3 points.
Why don't you give the point to the defense who stopped him from getting a field goal? I'm just saying. I'm going to agree with Will. It's time to get rid of kickers.
And the forward pass.
No, I like the forward pass.
So I don't disagree with Will either. In fact, we should get rid of special teams completely. You'd cut like a third of your roster off, lower your payroll, and make the game more exciting. You have to go for it on third down.
Be a man.
No, take a look. Take a look what happened in special teams in one of the game. We had Calgary benefited with that punt return. That was exciting.
Yeah, temporarily. The majority of punts are not exciting. And the amount of punts that come back because of penalty or kick returns that come back because of penalty, it's annoying as hell. Or no yards. What the fuck is no yards? I'll give you no yards is better than fair catch.
Don't you remember the days though, CJ, before you're allowed to do any blocking on kicking when people could still run back punts and kickoffs for touchdowns with no blockers? That was impressive.
We are that old.
That was impressive. Blocking on kicks came in the first year I played high school football.
So we've gone on and on and on, and we still haven't finished the first game.
That's correct.
Anybody else want to say anything about this Winnipeg Saskatchewan game?
Move on.
Move on?
Move on.
Okay, so it was Winnipeg 30, Saskatchewan 34 on the returned 2-point conversion, total of 64 points. Charles and CJ and Rick picked Winnipeg. Sparky and Willie took, where's Mike? Oh, there's Mike down at the bottom. And Mike took Saskatchewan. I'll have to turn my iPad this way to get them all on. There they are. Okay, so Charles got 14 points. Willie got 28. CJ got 22. Rick got 30. Sparky got 16. And Mike, a dismal 2. Wasn't a good one for you there, Mike. You're 20 points off on that one. Okay, the next game up was the Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is the number 1 and soon-to-be number 2 team in the East, basically because Montreal's just suck in the ass. It was an exciting game of 2 well-matched teams. No doubt about it. No question about it. It went back and forth and back and forth. And in fact, it went back and forth so often in the final minute of the game, I thought that I walked away, or I said, I'm going to concede the loss for Hamilton. And then they scored, and then Toronto scored, and then Hamilton scored, and then Toronto scored. And oh my God, it went back and forth. We had, 4 lead changes in the last 3 minutes of the game? Amazing game. Exciting as hell. Wrong team won. Personal opinion. William, start us off on Hamilton, Toronto.
You know what? We're starting a trend here, okay? Because Toronto won the game by 2 points, just like similar to the Winnipeg Saskatchewan game. What did Toronto do that Hamilton did not do. They ran the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton had 7 carries for 24 yards. Toronto had 100 plus. So
Hamilton doesn't have a running back.
Well, they do have a guy in the backfield that they call a running back. So, I mean, if your offensive line's decent, anybody can run the ball back there. You know what? It was a good game. I watched all of it. I don't take this the wrong way, Rick. I think Hamilton is starting to downtrend, to be honest with you. They just don't seem to be doing that well because they do have quite a lead already. Do they not? Yeah, they do. And I mean, Nick Arbuckle had over 400 yards passing, or no, Bo Levi had over 400. Nick was close to 400. So I don't know. That game was hard to call.
It was tight, and it could have gone either way.
Anybody who doesn't think next year Nick Arbuckle can start for their team is a fool. I think he should be a starter somewhere next year.
Mm-hmm.
Chad who?
Nick Arbuckle.
Chad who?
Right.
Yeah. We'll talk about him a little later.
Yeah, please
Are
do.
we? Okay, cool. Somebody's actually talking about him?
Yep.
There was.
Oh, okay. I missed this completely then. Okay, anybody else? Rick, you want to talk about this football game? Toronto, Hamilton. It was a good battle.
Yeah, it was exciting, but a lot like the Winnipeg game too. Like, wasn't a defensive game solidly for all 4 of these teams. Lots of points scored, lots of balls through the air, lots of completions. Secondaries need to get better as we're going forward.
Yes.
For me, this is the most exciting game of the weekend. It proved to me why CFL, the last 3 minutes of the game, you can't walk away. It was thoroughly. I thought this game was over 3 times in the last 3 minutes, and it was the best game of the week. It was the most exciting game of the week.
No lead is safe.
No.
I will say the Argos receiver in that last play before the field goal almost pulled a Dominic Rhymes. Where instead of getting down to give them the field goal chance, he tried for the touchdown. And he actually was lucky that he stepped out of bounds about the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
he did not make it in the end zone.
He didn't make it in the end zone. And had he not stepped out of bounds, that game was over. And they'd have lost.
You BC guys are still bitter about that, eh?
Damn right.
His foot was down though with 1 second left. It was
no, it was.
That guy has lost all welcome in BC because of his stupidity. Now he's a receiver in where? Calgary?
Yep.
Dominic Rhymes.
Yes, sir. Who, by the way, had his 100th game on Labor Day. That's quite the milestone.
So, anyhow, for reference sake here, Mike, BC was playing. Who were they playing? Was it Winnipeg?
Yep.
Yes.
And in the Western Final?
No, it wasn't the Western Final. It was the regular season game, but they were tied, so it was the game for first place. Right.
It was for the tiebreaker. And Dominic Rhymes caught the pass. And if he had gone down immediately, BC would have had enough time to kick the field goal to win the game. But he tried to get a touchdown. He was tackled short of the end zone and time had expired. So they lost the game. And Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans are total assholes about it. Did you notice, Rick?
I swear to God, I was at that game, and I haven't been that angry driving home after a game in a long time.
Yeah, there was just no need for that.
You know what? With my extensive experience as a coach, the game looks so much different when you don't have a face mask in front of you. so easy to sit on the sidelines and come up with these judgments when you don't have that mask in front of you and you're actually on the field doing the thing.
Well, I honestly believe that that was a coaching problem because I think the coach should have told them all before that on the timeout, catch the ball and go down. Catch the ball and go down.
Mhm.
And obviously the coaches didn't do that, or he ignored them.
Had he run into the end zone for the touchdown, he would be the hero.
Yep.
Fucking right. No doubt about
There
it.
you go. There you go. Enough said.
I'm done.
But he's the GOAT. He's a GOAT.
Oh,
He's a GOAT.
not the goat, but the goat.
Not the good goat, the bad goat. Okay, so this was the Toronto Argonauts 35, Hamilton Tiger Cats 33, 68 points, another high-scoring game. Everybody on the panel took Hamilton to win. Toronto won. Charles got 16 points, Willie was 10, CJ with 14, Rick with 22, Sparky 26, and Mike went high with 30 points there for you, buddy. Almost a makeup for the
game.
The dismal
Wow.
first game.
At least I got
Okay,
the last,
game, the double header on Monday, which was stupid having football games on Monday. I completely against it. Saw the Edmonton Elks into Calgary McMahon Stadium to play the Stampeders. And I think I need to reword that because I don't think the Elks showed up to play at all. It was a terrible performance on them. They ended up with 2 field goals and a rouge, which is a converted touchdown, but they didn't get into the end zone. I don't even think they got into the red zone. In fact, I'm not sure they even got on the Calgary side of the house.
Yeah, they were in the red zone. They were in the red zone.
Oh, were they?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
And failed.
Did
Well, they
nothing
did
when they got there, but
yeah. Okay. So this game could have been a lot worse. Vernon Adams did not play very well. Was it remnants of his flu? I know Willie downplayed that, but Vernon Adams did not play like himself. He's played much better games over the last 2 years.
A whopping 162 yards passing. Yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a Vernon Adams game of late.
Nope.
So he was off his numbers and he was off his game. And that's it's good for the Elks because they didn't get totally smashed, but they should have. Mike, you want to talk about this game? These are your favorite teams. Team.
I will say that Cody Fajardo is pretty damn lucky he didn't wind up in the hospital after the end of the game because he took a beating. He was able in the first half to be able to move the team up and down the field. He was able to do it in the first half, but in the second half, it was complete domination. And where we lost the game, the beginning of the end was when Eric Brooks brought that punt return back for a touchdown. That was the end. And they did not need Vernon Adams to play on Monday. He could have took the day off because Dedrick Mills was killing us with 106 yards rushing. But the guy the most valuable player in this game was Jacob Roberts and his 10 tackles. And it is amazing that with the 3-man push rushing rushing Edmonton, they were able to stifle in the second half. Edmonton could not move the ball at all. And it was a complete dominant performance by Calgary. And if you're an Edmonton fan, it was not a good day.
So here's my question for you, which is something that I have been saying over and over and over again, and a lot of people kind of agree with me, but the odd person doesn't, like Mike. Cody Fajardo, Calgary rushed 3 linemen most of the second half.
Yep.
They had 6 DBs back there covering it. There was nobody open. And Cody kept getting sacked when you have 5 O linemen and 3 D linemen, why can the quarterback not evade the rusher?
He's staying in the pocket too long. He's trying to thread the ball through a needle.
He turns left, he turns right, then he runs left and right into the arms of an O lineman.
He's holding the ball
runs
too long.
into sacks.
Yeah, he's holding the ball too long.
He cannot. He needs to learn to avoid big, huge, slow people.
So my question to you is if you've got a secondary and a defense like Calgary does, and no man is open, what is he supposed to do? The only
Throw
thing
the ball in the crowd.
Throw the ball away. Avoid the sack.
Yeah.
Rick, you're being a goof.
So then really what they
He's
need
trying
to
to
do,
say something.
they need to
Yeah, he
establish
is.
the running
He's telling
game.
us that we're not football players and we don't have the mind of a football player during the game. And we're on a fucking football podcast, which we are supposed to critique the players. If you don't want us to critique the players, you shouldn't be on the podcast.
Oh, critique them all away, but you got to understand what you see sitting at your TV is not what that quarterback sees through his face mask, and he's running for his freaking life.
He was.
You know what?
And they also
Hernan
hit
Adams runs
the-
away from sacks. Okay,
They
he runs
also-
out of runs. Trey Ford runs away from sacks.
Sometimes.
Most quarterbacks run it. Cody runs right into the arms and says, "Give me a kiss."
No, he doesn't.
What
No,
does
he
it matter?
doesn't.
What does it matter if you're sacked face up or from behind? A sack's a sack. You go down, you don't make your pass. It doesn't matter how it happens.
Could it be the case, Christopher, that sometimes a defense is so damn dominant that there's nothing that a quarterback can do except get sacked? What's he supposed to do?
He does the
Throw the
same
ball.
thing in every game. He's done the same thing for the entire decade he's been in the CFL.
He's been a damn good quarterback for us this year. He's turned
No,
our
he
team
hasn't.
around. Yes, he has.
You beat Ottawa.
A win's a win, baby.
You beat
and
Ottawa.
And how's Calgary done against Ottawa?
Calgary can't play in bad weather. That was proven.
I just think that you just don't like Cody Fajardo and you don't like Nick Arbuckle.
Wait
And
a
those
minute. Mike, you're just figuring out that CJ doesn't like Cody Fajardo? Where have you been?
I know
Have
he
you not-
hates him.
There you go.
He's got the t-shirt and everything. Trust me.
I didn't like Cody Fajardo when he played for the BC Lions. Okay? I'm not going to like him anymore when he plays for the Edmonton Elks.
Who would you rather have as a backup to Nathan Rourke, Mazzoli or Cody?
I don't want either of them. I'd rather have Trey Ford.
I'd take Cody over Mazzoli.
Well, yes, I would. But are we going to win any more games?
You'd win
Only
more
against
games.
Ottawa.
You would win more
Against
games.
Ottawa.
If Nathan Rourke got hurt, Cody Fajardo could at least lead your team to a victory.
Well, you ain't winning the games with Nathan, so.
And he's the
Right.
number one quarterback in the league right now.
I'm done.
Well, Sparky put it up today in the group. Did you not see it?
Yeah, but Sparky's busy kissing your butt, so that's why he put it up there.
No. Sparky's a Stampeder fan.
No, he's not.
Well, okay, I'm
No,
not
he's
sure
not.
what fan,
No,
what
he's
fan base he
not.
is. He's a rugby fan.
He's a
That
rugby
hangs out
fan.
with us. Okay, anybody else want to talk about this Edmonton Calgary game? William, it's your Calgary Stampeders. Talk about the
You know what?
mollywhopping.
There's nothing to say. It seems that every game that Calgary has won this year, at halftime, they talk about things in the locker room, and the defense shuts the other team down.
They make adjustments.
Last week in Saskatchewan, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, Saskatchewan had 15 points. The score was 15-14 at halftime. End of the game, Saskatchewan still had 15 points. That was it. So
They make adjustments. They're able to adjust.
One of the things they did with Cody was in the second half, they spied Cody so he couldn't run because he was running all over the place in the first half.
Okay, so I'm going to say something here.
Yep.
That since Dave Dickinson took over control of the Calgary Stampeders,
yes, sir,
that team has very slowly spiraled into the ground to finish last place in the league last year at a 5-13 record.
Yeah.
This year, the success of the Calgary Stampeders has been twofold. One is the general manager has built a team that, bar none, is the best in the CFL at this point in time.
Yep.
And two, they're winning football games by good coaching.
Yep.
I couldn't say that last year, the year before, the year before that.
No.
But this year, they have been, I cannot say a bad thing about Dave Dickinson this year. Not a thing.
It's hard to say
now,
that.
Is it because it's Dave Dickinson, or is it because he's got a better support staff around him? What is it? I don't care. The coaching staff at the Calgary Stampeders are doing a bang-up job, probably the best in the league right now.
But all I'm going to say to that is nobody's won a Grey Cup yet, so it doesn't matter.
Nobody's won a Grey Cup yet, but I have to give credit where credit is due. And Dave Dickinson should have been fired last year, and it's a good thing for the Stampeder fans that he wasn't.
Is this the coaching, or did they get lucky? Because if you look at some of the players on this team, nobody's ever heard of them. When Sparky,
it's been like that year in, year out on a Huffnagel team.
When Sparky was saying last year, or this at the beginning of this year, they were light at linebacker. They were light at linebacker, man. And look at them now.
And he said they had no DBs.
Correct.
All off season, he said they have no DBs.
Yeah, right. They do.
And I mean, you can't discount too that they went from Jake Mayer to Vernon Adams.
You can't discount that, of course.
That's like going from a 1970s Volkswagen Bug to a Rolls Royce.
But here's the other thing I've been saying all year, and if you look back, I'm not going to look back at games, but Cody Fajardo, the offense in Edmonton, they had 300 yards in offense. Okay. Calgary had 260.
Wasn't even close. The game wasn't close.
I know. So there's this, they bend, but they don't break.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes down to it, they just shut people down. And I hope it stays like this for the whole year. I've never seen a defense like this. In the 35 years I've watched the Stampeders play, I've never seen a defense this good.
They have an outstanding defense.
And I've seen some great Grey Cup defenses. This one is by far the best I've ever seen.
They've been playing like this. They've been playing like this since the exhibition season. The first game, the first preseason game, they've been playing it lights out. They've been doing it all year.
Absolutely. One of the things Dave Dickinson said at the beginning of this year, why he got rid of so many people, was he said they were not playing Stampeder football. And he kept the people that knew what Stampeder football was. And so far it's worked out well.
It has. So you said that one of the big, you can't discount the upgrade at quarterback position between Jake Mayer and Vernon Adams, Charles.
Right.
Okay. Who's responsible for that?
Well, you probably Dave Dickinson. Well, Dave Dickinson, because he's the one that made the trade.
100%. He built a team.
Actually, I give credit to the BC Lions for letting him go to Calgary.
Well, I said there's no way in hell he should go to Calgary. He should have gone to
I don't understand why they didn't trade him to Ottawa,
Yeah,
Montreal,
Like-
or
I did not understand that
CFL or
trading him in the division.
It was an absolute
Stupid.
fucking error.
You think John Huffnagel or Wally Buono would have done something like that? Not a
Not
Never.
a fucking hope in
Never.
hell. Never. Okay,
They would have sat
nothing
Vernon
has
Adams on the. They'd have sat Vernon Adams on the bench before trading him into the division.
Nothing has been proven yet because number one, Vernon Adams has never won a playoff game.
correct.
That's not quite correct. No, that's not correct. He's won at least one Western semifinal because I was there.
Oh, did he?
But yes,
Okay, and he's never really played in cold weather in the playoffs.
that's correct.
Where's the Grey Cup this year?
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
But, Richard, the last Grey Cup in Winnipeg, it was 7 on Grey Cup Day.
It was.
Might as well be Green Bay.
That's an oasis.
The Western final last year was 14 or 15 degrees.
Yep.
Okay, so this final score in this game was the Calgary Stampeders 28, the Edmonton Elks 7. Total of 35 points. Everybody picked Calgary, even Mike. Charles, you got 0 points. Willie got 0 points. CJ got 4. Rick got 0. Sparky got 12. Mike got 8. Everybody went high on this. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So let's flip this over. Go to the next page here. Sparky. I can't blame Sparky for this, but it's my iPad screwing up. There it is. Okay. So the week finished out with Willie with okay, hang on. Sparky was big guy at 254 points. Willie was next at 238. Rick at 152. Oh, sorry. We got Mike down at the bottom here at 240. That was spectacular. That was number 2.
Is somebody in a wind tunnel all of a sudden?
I think Rick just went potty.
Get water.
Okay. Low man on the game
hope
on the
the
week
second
was
one's
Charles at 130. So we had a change in the lead. Willie took the lead back from CJ. 43-42 to 43-04. 42-34 for Charles. Sparky's back at 4,000. Rick's down at 3,500. And Mike is coming close to Rick now with 500 points.
Yes.
Okay. So CFL Pick'em standings for the year have Willie and CJ tied at 32 and 18. And I think we have just as good a ranking as any of the no, Pat Steinberg has 34 and 16, and Matthew Cause is 32 and 18, tied with us. But everybody, all the other CFL writers are below us in our standings there, Will.
Cool.
So that's where that goes. Charles is right behind us at 31 and 19. Sparky is one back, 30 and 20. Rick's back another 4, 26 and 24. And you're just barely above 500 there, Rick. And Mike is 4 and 3.
There's a reason
so
I don't bet on sports.
He's only Mike's only 22 wins behind Rick. He's coming up on him.
You can catch me.
The season's just
You
getting
can catch me.
underway.
That's
You
my
can catch
goal.
me.
I'm trying.
Okay, so we did put out our power rankings after the Labor Day weekend. There was some changes and there were some non-changes. Obviously, there's a few things that couldn't change, and they didn't. BC stayed in 4th place. Montreal stayed in 7th place, and Ottawa stayed in the basement. Otherwise, there was a little bit of movement. Calgary is in 1st place, which is no movement there. Saskatchewan is in 2nd. Winnipeg was in 3rd, so that the top 4 were solid. Toronto got moved up to 5th place, although I strongly disagreed with that. but I also picked Toronto in 5th place because nobody else was better in the bottom. But they're not. I don't consider them that good of a team. Hamilton is dropped from 5th to 6th. Montreal stayed the same. Edmonton dropped from 6th to 8th. So our standings are Toronto, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, BC, Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal, Edmonton, and Snottawa. We have 4 games this week. You ready for your picks? I got to get my score sheets out here so that I can do this to hand it off to Sparky after the show because he appreciates it. We got 4 games. We have the BC Lions are playing Ottawa, and the CFL writers straight across the board have picked the Lions to win. FanDuel has BC at 4.5 with an over-under of 55.5. Sparky Calculator has BC at 55. CJ has BC at 54. 54. Rick, who are you picking?
BC 52.
52. You're losing your 58 here.
Hasn't been working for me.
Okay. So you're going BC 52. You do know this is the week that it's going to end up at 58, right?
Well,
Story of my
now-
life, CJ. Story of my
I'm
life.
just saying. I'm not telling you to change your pick.
No, I
Okay.
can live with that.
Okay. The big decision here is going to be Will, but Charles, you're going to have to say BC because I know I'm written it down already. What's
Yeah, and no more hiccups like we had against Toronto a couple weeks ago. They should have beaten Toronto. I'm sorry. It was ridiculous that they lost to Toronto. They can't have the same type of nonsense happen against Ottawa. Ottawa's even worse than Toronto. In fact, I think Ottawa's probably the worst team in the league. We got to go out and we got to dominate early, and we got to make a statement that, yeah, you know what? That was a one-off. I'm looking and hoping for a big game from Nathan Rourke in the offense. They got the weapons. They got the talent. Ottawa's defense is crap. I'm going to go BC 59.
59. Do you honestly believe Ottawa has defense?
Well, they put guys out there dressed up like football players when the other team's offense is out there, and they do kind of like run around and stuff like that when the ball is snapped. Are they a defense? No, but they're terrible.
I think they're cardboard replicas. They're like the little Pamela Anderson that you stick up in your window at home.
Most games they look like they'd have trouble stopping a college team.
Yeah. Okay. William, what are you going to do here, my friend?
You know what? I have new respect for Bob Dice. I actually learned things this week that I didn't know, and I thought I knew everything about the CFL. Ricky, did you know that Bob Dice is a Manitoba guy?
No.
You need to Google Bob Dice, like Manitoba amateur football coming out of his buttocks. I'm telling you, Bisons, junior football, it's amazing. Anyways, despite what I think about Bob Dice, there's no way in hell I'm going to pick Ottawa because Ottawa is horrible. They might be worse than Edmonton. Maybe. Anyways, I'm going to go BC 50.
BC 50. Now, today, Mike put out a series of questions on the Let's Talk CFL group. Did you read my replies to you, Mike?
Yes, I did.
And who is the person that should get fired at the end of the season?
Bob Dice.
I did. Bob Dice.
And why won't he?
Contract management, CFL management.
The people who run that team are a bunch of idiots. Okay. Nobody can argue with that. This is what, his 4th or 5th season? They haven't improved.
But isn't there a point in which ownership's got to say, you know what, we've got to absorb the contract and bite the bullet and get a new coach?
Yeah, but they've been doing that all the time, and they've got Rick Campbell in the wings, and they're going to make him the head coach, and he's no fucking good last time he was in Ottawa, and he was no fucking good when he was in BC. Okay. The second game up we have is the Hamilton Tiger Cats are going into Montreal
By
to
the
play
way,
the Alouettes at McGill Stadium.
Yeah, Mike didn't make his pick.
Mike didn't make a pick? Oh,
No.
I'm sorry. I don't have a square here for Mike. I have to redo that. Sorry, Mike. My bad.
I'm going to pick BC Lions in 45.
BC at 45. I think BC alone is going to score 45 points.
I'm hoping, though.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
So
Mike.
maybe
I
they're gonna
missed
make
you
up for that
completely there. I
horrible
apologize. The next game up is the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Montreal. They're playing at McGill Stadium on the island. And Jamie Nye has picked the Montreal Alouettes. Everybody else took the Tiger Cats. Wow. It's hard to believe. FanDuel has Hamilton at 3.5 with an over-under of 51.5. Sparky Calculator has Hamilton at 53. I didn't put Sparky's numbers down here. I better put that down there, okay? CJ is going to take the Hammer at 54. I think Montreal's a better. Until Davis Alexander comes back and plays football in Montreal, I don't hold a lot of success to the Montreal Alouettes for the remainder of the season. Although Captain Morgan played a decent game, and he's had 2 weeks to practice there, or at least learn the playbook a little bit better, which he should have known anyhow, being a backup, because he was actually on the roster from the beginning of the season, unlike Cameron Dukes and Shea Patterson, who have just showed up. Anyhow, we don't know who the Montreal starter is going to be. We haven't heard that yet, have we?
Nope.
I haven't heard.
So it's James Morgan, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I believe James Morgan is going to get the opportunity to start this football game. So he's going to get his loss on this one, my opinion. So we're going to move this on. Mike, I'll let you go first just so I don't forget you. Hamilton and Montreal.
Hamilton 46.
Hamilton 46. Okay. Charles.
Montreal's not going anywhere without Davis Alexander. My apologies to Captain Morgan, James Morgan, whatever. This is nothing against him. He's just not ready for prime time. And they're not on the field. The offense isn't on the field sustained as much, so the defense gets tired. And Hamilton's just a better team, especially offensively now, especially without Davis Alexander. They had a hiccup last week. They're going to be pissed off. Hamilton 51.
Hamilton 51. Okay. Willie.
Oh, you mean Hamilton's not playing Toronto this weekend? How come?
I don't know. Absolute stupidity.
Yes, it is. Anyways, I am picking Montreal 48.
Wow.
Is Davis Alexander playing?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so CJ takes over first place again. Unless Charles can come up close. Rick, what do you want to do here?
Montreal 42.
Well, the McDonald brothers have both lost their fucking minds.
Oh, no, you've been hounding him this year, telling me he shouldn't pick Hamilton ever. What are you talking about?
Well,
Hey,
it's the same
look-
thing with picking Edmonton and Ottawa. Who would you take? I'd take
Hey.
Edmonton.
Hey, Little Willie's top of the stats. I'm going to follow him.
Okay. The third game is the Banjo Bowl. Is this your first Banjo Bowl? Are you experiencing the first Banjo Bowl, Mike, or did you watch it last year?
Well, this is my first.
Woohoo!
So
Ricky,
this is
you gotta explain to him how
Saskatchewan.
the Banjo
This
Bowl
is the
came about.
return back home-to-home game with Saskatchewan Roughriders playing in Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers. And this is where the bunch of inbreds come from Saskatchewan to play football.
against the inbreds in Manitoba.
Banjo picking
There-
inbreds
there-
was what it was
There's
called.
no difference between Saskatchewan and Manitoba. There is no difference. They're absolutely
yes,
exactly the
yes.
same.
They
So
literally
regardless of
have
what anybody says.
they
Okay.
literally have a trophy in the shape of a banjo too.
This is definitely this game's worth the watch. Okay. So we're gonna have Saskatchewan in Winnipeg. Jamie Nye, Christina Constable, and Vicky Hall took the Riders. And this week, Pat Steinberg and Matthew Cause, the two leaders, have taken the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Okay. FanDuel has Winnipeg by 1.5 with an over-under of 52.5. Sparky Calculator has Winnipeg 53. CJ is taking Winnipeg. I took Winnipeg last week. I lost, but I'm taking Winnipeg this week at 54. Banjo Bowl is usually a Bombers game, and I think the crowd at Princess Auto Stadium is going to make the difference of this game. Two very evenly matched teams, and the 13th man will win. Personal opinion. I'm going to let Rick go next. What are you going to do there, buddy?
So I agree with you, Chris. The fans make a difference. We will call
Stop calling
it
me Chris. I fucking hate it.
Sorry, CJ.
No, Christopher works too.
An asshole.
Motherfucker.
Okay. Dipshit.
Yep, that works.
No,
Okay,
I take
okay.
asshole. I don't like dipshit.
I'm going to go Winnipeg 52. And I don't know, Mike, do you know why we call it the Banjo Bowl?
I have no idea.
Years
Oh,
ago,
yeah,
there
well-
was a Winnipeg kicker that, when talking about this game, mentioned that everybody in Saskatchewan were inbred and played the banjo. So he was forced to apologize, and he went on air and said, I do really have to apologize. I don't actually know anybody out there that plays the banjo.
Gentleman's name was Troy Westwood.
Yes, sir.
Some years ago, I was with my business. We used to have an annual meeting in Mexico every November, and I was usually in Mexico for the Grey Cup. And one year at the resort, I go out the first morning at the pool, and the pool is absolutely 100% infected with Rough Rider fans. They're all there in their green stuff, and I pulled up a lounger next to a big group of them and looked around, and I looked at all of them and said, like, what? Nobody brought a banjo? To which the guy in the lounger closest to me said, Winnipeg fan. And I said, yeah. He says, so, but we're in the Grey Cup this year. You're not cheering for that Eastern team. And I said, well, I'll give you that. I will be cheering for you guys in the Grey Cup, because I will never cheer for an Eastern team in the Grey Cup, ever.
Unless it was Winnipeg.
When they were in the East.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, Mike. Mike, who are you going to take here? The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
I think this game is going to be Winnipeg 62.
Woo.
Winnipeg 62. Okay.
I like it.
That's a
I like it.
big score. Wheelie.
Winnipeg 50 with a running game.
Oh. So you want an over-under on Brady Oliveira making 100 yards?
No, because he can catch too.
I never said running. Yeah, we do count as screen passes as runs, don't we?
Give
Charles,
them the ball
what do you want to do here?
20 times and we win.
Are those runs or those passes? Those are passes, aren't they?
Legally, they're passes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Honestly, I thought that the Riders kind of got away with one last week. I don't think it happens again in Winnipeg. And of all of the Labor Day series, this is the one that seems to split the most. They always seem to win at home, or at least often will split the two games.
It was tied last week, Charles.
What?
It was tied last week.
Yeah. I'm picking Winnipeg to win this one. Winnipeg 50.
Okay. Sure, we got those done. Now we got one more game, and we've got the CFL writers have taken the Calgary Stampeders unanimously over the Edmonton Elks in Edmonton. Can you believe it? Edmonton should be dominant in their own stadium of Commonwealth. Oh my good Lord, how is that even possible? FanDuel has Calgary by 5.5 with an over-under of 50.5. Sparky Calculator has Calgary at a measly 49 points. That's a slow, low-scoring game there, Sparky. Okay, Mike. Edmonton Elks, Calgary Stampeders.
I believe in
Want to see
miracles.
what happens with a healthy Vernon Adams?
I believe miracles can happen. I think Cody Fajardo is going to dominate this game. Our defense is going to come and play. It's going to be Edmonton in 41.
That's a fucking fairy tale.
I believe
Edmonton
in my-
41.
I
Okay.
believe in my Elks.
Now this is how you get below 500. Okay. Rick.
Calgary 65.
Come on.
Okay. Charles.
I know Sparky always likes us to say why we're taking these teams. Quite frankly, Edmonton isn't close to in Calgary's league. There's not really much to say. Calgary's a far superior team. Vernon Adams is a far superior quarterback to Cody Fajardo. Calgary's going to win this one 50-59.
Really? Are you going to pick? Is this a homer pick for you?
FYI, Mike, last year, Edmonton won back-to-back. Just so you know, buddy.
Yeah, but we were a different team. Calgary was a different team.
Yeah, yes, they were. So I would have said last year there's no chance in hell that this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, thanks for that update, Mike. From now on, guys, on this podcast, I am now going to refer to Cody Fajardo as the Dominator. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I am going to go with Calgary Stampeders at 50.
Did you say the dominatrix?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, here's my question to
Cross-dressing
you.
son of a bitch.
If a miracle happens,
Yes,
will
sir.
I have your vote for Cody Fajardo for MOP?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
It's not a miracle. It would be
It's
a
the
complete
CFL.
catastrophe.
It's the CFL. It can happen.
It's true.
Last year,
We've seen it on the Labor Day games.
last year I would have said Calgary had a chance of not playing as well as the week before, but they didn't play well this week, Mike. It's going to be scary. Just my thought.
And CJ forgot to put in his score, so he's going to do that. It's Calgary
Edmonton?
Stampeders 54. I just noticed the empty box there, and Sparky would have a fit with that. So
Who did Sparky take?
Sparky picked Calgary. He's a Calgary Stampeder fan. He put Calgary at 49. He actually has a mathematical formula and spreadsheets and all sorts of stuff that he puts all sorts of data in and comes up with these answers. And that's probably the reason why he's at the bottom of the pick'em.
No, I'm at the bottom.
Sparky's a scientist, Mike, just so you know.
I figured.
Bottom right here. Bottom right here.
Well, Mike is.
No, he's not. He
He
hasn't
hasn't
been
been here
all year.
Yeah.
He doesn't count. You do
Yeah,
count.
but
Mike.
if we extrapolate the scores and stuff up to where we are, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
It'd be
I'm
close.
just wondering if Mike had started with us at the beginning of the year,
Where
would
would he
he-
be?
would he still be picking Edmonton?
I'm pulling for Mike to beat me this year.
Yeah, I
Thank
am
you.
too.
We're slowly educating Mike on reality, okay? He's living in this fantasy world, and we're slowly converting him to reality. It might take a couple of years, but
Just when it comes to one team, he's a little off, but the rest of the league, I think he's got a grip.
he's getting better at this. Okay, Charles did throw an agenda together, so I will see what we've got here.
Nothing
Those
earth shattering, believe me.
I don't think.
The Calgary Stampeders are the likeliest Grey Cup winners per CFL playoff probability rankings.
That's not true. I thought Saskatchewan.
No,
No, it's
I
Calgary.
don't know.
Not according to
The
this article.
article has the Rough Riders up there.
Oh, I saw
although
something else. I saw something else the other day. That's right. Okay. Oh no, that's right. It is Calgary. This is right. Only 41.84%. Wow.
Like I mentioned before the show, there are a lot of Saskatchewan people that write on our blogs, that commentate, that say that we're being unfair to them because Saskatchewan is the best team in the league because of record. And then we're not taking into account the full picture, the record.
They're
And
not the
they-
ones taking things into
taking
account.
account
No.
Did you
They are
see them play
100%.
Calgary twice?
No. They're 100% correct. We're not, because we're all Saskatchewan haters.
Yes.
And I can live with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And they also lost to Calgary twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't go by just record alone. Who did
The
they
only
beat?
two losses
Who did they
they've had this year.
exactly? Who did they beat? Who did they lose to? And how do they look when they win these games? It's all a thing. You can't just go by straight numbers. It doesn't work like that.
I don't go by straight numbers. I go by pure dominance. I don't care about the record. Calgary, to me, because of that defense, is the best team in the league.
I agree.
nobody's going to argue.
Nope.
But I got Saskatchewan fans pinging me that I'm a jerk.
That's
because-
their problem.
Hey,
Yeah,
then
but-
you're doing it.
yeah, but-
You're doing
Yeah,
it
but
right,
Mike,
Mike.
the problem is, if you're not a Saskatchewan fan, you're a jerk. It doesn't matter what team you cheer for, you're a jerk. Okay,
Trust me. For every ping
Mike?
you get, CJ gets 20.
that's true.
Welcome to the club.
They're thin-skinned.
Welcome to the club, my friend. We have a secret handshake. Okay.
Well, even against Saskatchewan and Winnipeg last week, they didn't play that well. They did not play like a dominant number one team in the league.
Well, considering Winnipeg's
No.
not a dominant team in the league right now, and they barely beat them. And we're all picking Winnipeg to beat the Riders this week.
Yep.
How's that going to fucking affect our power rankings? That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Can you really
The
move
only-
Winnipeg up above Saskatchewan if they beat them this week?
Yeah. The only team to dominate Winnipeg this season so far has been Calgary.
Okay,
Three
so
times.
Yeah.
we have a
3
particular
times.
quarterback in the CFL who has not played for a little bit, and he puts out an Instagram post that says, "The Comeback, September 13th, 2025.
Was he drunk again?
I don't know, maybe. I never thought of that. So he believes that himself, the god of football, Chad Kelly, is going to come back and take the Argos to the promised land. My question for you is, do you believe that the Toronto Argonauts should bench Nick Arbuckle in favor of Chad Kelly?
No.
Does anybody think that they should
No.
go with Chad Kelly?
No, but isn't Chad Kelly's idea the promised land the Mustang Ranch in Nevada?
No, those are too old for him. Anyways,
I don't. I think he wants the elementary school ones or something. I think. I don't know.
He's a little
I will go on record in saying if Dinwiddie decides to replace Arbuckle with Chad, Dinwiddie ought to be fired because I think Arbuckle deserves to be the number one quarterback in Toronto.
100% agree.
You probably don't know Ryan Dinwiddie's history, do you, Mike?
No.
Okay.
No.
The only game I ever remember Ryan Dinwiddie playing in is the what Grey Cup?
2007.
2007 Grey Cup.
Fuck off.
Winnipeg's starting quarterback broke his arm in the Western final.
Yep.
And
When he shouldn't have even been
Eastern.
in the game.
Winnipeg had a dominant defense that year, and they didn't have a choice. Come Grey Cup time, they put in Ryan Dinwiddie, who had 0 starts in the CFL.
Yep.
And his comment was, "Oh, it's okay. I've played in big games before. I went to, I can't remember what school it was, and he did nothing in the Grey Cup.
A statement that did not age well.
Winnipeg almost won because they had a superhuman effort by their defense, but they eventually lost.
He was an arrogant ass back then, and he has not changed.
And I'm going to say within 2 years he was coaching.
Yeah, he went to Boise State.
That's right.
Honestly, Nick Arbuckle leads the CFL in passing yardage.
Yes, he does.
He's very much getting some very good chemistry going with that receivers.
Yes,
to have Chad Kelly come back and screw that up is just stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like replacing Vernon Adams with.
Oh, don't go there. They didn't do that. Vernon was hurt at the time.
I know he was.
I've always been a firm believer that somebody shouldn't lose their starting position because of an injury. However, in this case, he has not played the entire frickin' year, and Arbuckle has been playing solid, and I think he's even proven to Christopher he's a starting level quarterback in this league. He deserves to stay.
He's not.
I'm sure Christopher would believe that he could start ahead of Cody Fajardo on any team. Anyways.
Or
I would agree with that.
Or Jake Mayer.
Right.
Or Jake Mayer. Or Jeremiah Mazzoli.
I mean, you think about it. If you think about it, Toronto, are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, they will.
I'm not convinced. Well, they'll probably end up second in the East. So, yeah, they will.
Maybe. It's tight.
Honestly,
I would be okay with Winnipeg picking him up.
We've broken news tonight that Christopher is going to become a charter member of the Cody Fajardo MOP club.
Where's the mute button on Mike? I got to find that mute button. Okay, so the last article that Charles has put up here is the Montreal Alouettes appear to be getting healthy at the right time. They have full participation in practice with fullback David Dallaire, star receivers Austin Mack, Tyson Philpott, defensive lineman Mustafa Johnson, and all CFL safety Marc-Antoine Dutoit, and returner James Lecter Jr. So they are getting the force back. They do not have Davis Alexander there.
That's the one name that makes the biggest difference, too.
It does.
All those guys are great. Without Davis Alexander, it's hollow.
Yeah. So
isn't Davis Alexander due to
Montreal will play a better game, but they're playing Hamilton.
They are going to be rested because they've been on the bye. Oh yeah, don't want to make any trouble here, but we're having 3 games on Saturday.
Yeah, triple header.
And last Saturday we had none.
And sadly, I will probably miss every game Saturday because I am boarding a cruise ship in Seattle at about 10:30 Saturday morning.
And I know why they don't want to play Sunday, go up against week 1 of the NFL. That's why they're doing that.
That's true.
They don't.
Okay. Anybody else want to add anything to the show, or are we going to call it a week?
I would assume that Ricky's not going to be on the podcast next week. Is that correct, Ricky?
None of you on a cruise.
Well, it depends on what my Wi-Fi package has for me.
Oh, okay.
That would be
'Cause
cool if you're out in the
I
middle
do
of the
have a
ocean
Wi-Fi
and talking to us.
package. So, yeah.
Which cruise are you doing? Alaska?
Yes.
Very beautiful up there. You're barely in Alaska, but the BC coast is gorgeous.
I have been to Skagway, Alaska via the narrow gauge railway from Whitehorse to Skagway
Oh, okay.
in my youth.
That's cool.
In my youth.
Yeah, I used to work on the BC coast on a coastal freighter, and it's very gorgeous. People do not appreciate the beauty that is you can't see unless you're on the water.
My camera bag will be very heavy.
Yeah. Mike, every American wants to go to Alaska at least once in their life. Have you been there yet?
I was thinking about taking a cruise there this year, but I'm going to do it next year.
Okay, because like Rick could use some company on this
Yeah,
cruise.
Hop on the boat.
Hop
No,
on the boat.
Mike is coming to Calgary for the Grey Cup next year.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds like a plan.
I thought about going.
Edmonton's going to be in it.
I've already thought about going to Calgary for Grey Cup next year as well.
So have I, and I've not thought about going to Winnipeg this year.
Neither have I.
I
Not
have.
to think about it either.
Just for the record, Mike Will has an outstanding collection of whiskey.
Awesome.
And
Have
I
you
He's
guys
got a
don't,
bigger collection
and
of
I don't
shoes.
drink anymore, Mike. So the only way it would disappear is if Rick ever showed up.
It's just aging. Does Rick come and visit you, Will?
Occasionally, yes. He calls my house a 5-star hotel.
Better. You've been there, Chris. Nobody cooks
I
like
have.
that.
I have been there. I was treated
That-
very well.
Yes, everybody is. Patsy is the
I've
greatest
never
cook
been-
on this planet.
I've never been invited, but you know,
You've never
that's how
come.
it is. That's
Oh,
the last
hey.
time. The last time I was in Calgary, you went to Vegas. So
No. The last time you went to a Grey Cup, the last time you went to a CFL football game, you went to fucking Edmonton. Come on,
my wife has family there, so we went to visit family too.
my
So.
Lord.
So
Edmonton.
just think
Later.
we could do CFL Talk Live next year at the Calgary Grey Cup.
We could so.
We could. We'll
Good,
see what
good.
happens.
Well,
And Charles, I've never been invited either. You just got to show up. They won't turn you away. Trust me.
fair enough. Will might,
Well,
but
I was
Patty
asked
won't.
if I had a neck tattoo.
Yes, I did ask Christopher if he had neck tattoos before I let him in my house.
What a random question.
Oh, not that I'm worried about it, because I just would have killed him with a spoon, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, he asked me a whole pile of questions, and it was really kind of
Guess
interesting.
what?
And I gave
You
you
were you
great
were a,
answers.
you were a stranger back then, my friend. Remember?
And I gave you some great answers.
Yes, you were a stranger, and I'm letting you in the house with my wife. I don't do that very often, so.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so this has been Let's Talk CFL podcast episode number 620. I've been your host, Christopher Jones, and I'm going to sign off. We're going to watch some football this week, and fucking BC Lions better beat Ottawa, because if they don't, I'm putting them at the bottom, the absolute bottom of the power rankings, okay?
Me too.
Absolute bottom.
Bye.
And you can hold me to that. Okay, William, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Watch football this weekend, including that other league if you get around to it, because I like the other league too. But CFL rules.
Charles.
Good night, folks. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this weekend's games, and please don't lose Lions. It's going to be embarrassing if you do.
It'd be very embarrassing. Well, it is in Ottawa, so that would be okay.
No, I still don't
No,
think that's
it
good.
wouldn't be okay. It would never be okay.
Nope.
Rick, say goodnight.
Good night, y'all. Go Raiders.
The Raiders, who are they?
The other
Mike.
team that I cheer for that sucks.
Okay. Mike, say goodnight.
Good night, Elk Nation, and let's beat Calgary this weekend.
If nothing else, you gotta admit he's consistent.
I love the
Yes,
optimism.
Okay, I'm going to stop this recording right now.